Hello, my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, LinkedIn. Good evening, Facebook. But good evening, uh, YouTube. Listen, I want you to remind you that my YouTube channel is the main channel. I'm looking for subscribers, so do me a favor. If you see this video and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do me a favor and click that subscribe link. Would really appreciate it. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Whenever you watch it, whether it's the replay or not, I'm excited to be here. I want to talk about something that really was mind blowing to me this past weekend. Well, it wasn't mind blowing. I wouldn't say mind blowing, but it was an epiphany that I made that I realized that I'm wasting some time here. I'm wasting some opportunities. So not only do I want you to describe, I want to remind you that uh, if you're still interested in STEM camps for your kids, uh, the deadline is coming up soon. If you want to have a STEM camp, do me a favor and send out a message to me. Phenomenal STEM camp, which is uh, virtual. It's a virtual STEM camp. Please contact me for www.phenomenalstemist for more information. And lastly, which is something that I'm going to talk about today, my book, The Phenomenal STEMist, is on Amazon. Personally, I'd rather buy it directly from me, get more money that way, but it's on Amazon, so do me a favor. And if you know of anybody who needs to prepare their children for a successful career, check that book out. I sold off my books this I sold all my books this past weekend. So um last year I invested in myself and purchased 100 books, and I finally sold all 100 of them this past weekend. Most of them got sold earlier up in the year, and then things slowed down over the holidays and things like that. But I was thinking, I was like, man, I sold 10 books for $150. Let's do the math. It's phenomenal STEM is M for mathematics, right? I sold 10 books for $150, $15 per book, right? And I was like, man, I only paid $2 per book. This is for you out there who are watching that small amount of people. Hey, mommy, and then the other three people who are watching, whoever you are, just give me a shout out. What's the math behind that? I forgot my calculator. Right? 15 minus 2 is what? 15 minus 2 is $13. Y'all hear me? Like, I'm like, yo, what profit is that, y'all? 15 minus 2 is 13. What's the profit? Hmm? What's the profit on that? $13. I invested 2, got $13. What's that? How should I do that math? I'm thinking about it. Is it percent difference? Way more than 90%, mommy. Way more than 90%. So, percent difference is final minus initial divided by initial, right? Final minus initial divided by initial. So the initial is $2. I think I'm doing this math right. Right? Initial is $2. It's not 13 divided by 15 over 100%. That's not how it works. Yes, I understand. 13 divided by 15 times 100% is 86%. So you think, oh, 90%, you know what I'm saying? 90% of my, but 13 out of 15 is 90% of the $15. That's not the math. That's not the math. Hey, Sandra, that's the math. So it's about how much I initially spent. So final minus initial. So 15 minus 2, right? 15 final minus initial. 15 minus 2 equals 13 divided by the initial investment, which is 2, equals times 100%. That's a 650% profit, y'all. Are you listening to me? Are you guys listening to me? That is better than the stock market. That's better than Bitcoin. That is what am I doing with myself? Why did it take me a year to sell off 100 books? You understand what I'm saying? It took me a year to sell 100 books. 650%, Sandra. Very good. Is it Sandra from is it my student Sandra who's watching? Who's watching? That's that if you took biology with me, very, very good. Hey, Paulette. 600% profit, y'all. Suppose I made 600% profit every day. I'd be a billionaire. Suppose I sold 100 books every day. I mean, or 10 books every day. If I sold 10 books every day, right? So 15 times 10, I think I made 15. 15 times 10 books, doing math today, it's phenomenal STEMist math, is $150. You know? So, I mean, that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Times 7 days a week, that's $1,000 a week. Times 4 is $4,200 a month. Times 4 times, so there's 52 weeks in a year. That's $218,000. No, not 52 weeks. Did I say times 4 weeks? That's a month. Hold on. I mean, I'm like, hey, how did it jump to that? Divided by 12. Times, what did I say? Oh, let's do this again. $150 a day times 7 days a week is $1,000 a week. times 4 weeks a month is 4,200 a month times 12 months a year, that's $50,000. So if I sold 10 books, I sold 10 books on one day. Suppose I sold 10 books every day. That's $50,000 on top of my salary. You understand? Sandra says you have to pay for marketing now. That's the next step. The thing is, if I sell my book directly, I get the whole profit. When I sell my book via Amazon, I pay them for marketing. So I get less royalties. So I'm getting royalty checks every month, but it's not the $13. It's like less than that. You get my point, because they got to pay for shipping. I got to So they take all that money out, and then they give me the royalty check. So I make more money when I sell my books, meaning I pay people to sell my books. What do I mean by that? Like, so not the marketing for the books to be sold on Amazon, because Amazon's not giving me as much as when I literally sell my books myself. So whenever I do, here's the value, guys. Here's what I'm saying. The value was I did speaking engagements all the time. I would do speaking engagements all the time, but guess what I didn't have? I didn't have this. So I would get speaking engagements money in terms of honorariums. But the beauty of this is I got an honorarium and I sold all of my books. And if I had more than 10 books, I would have sold more than 10 books. I only had 10 books left. I just ordered another 100 books from Amazon. You got to invest in yourself, right? You invest your $2, you know what I'm saying? And you sell for 15. You get my point? So, but I learned, my point is this. I'm talking about how to sell successfully. I learned to sell from high school. My point is, selling is where you make the money. Selling is where you make the money. You can invest in stock markets all you want. I do. You can invest in some cryptocurrency to be very risky. I risk a little bit. Nothing compares to selling a product. I got a 650% profit in a day. You understand? Nothing compares to selling a product. So the first thing is you got to create a product. I've been speaking all over the country for years. I have a product. But when I got a product, I speak and I sell a product. This is the financial growth. Not even real estate is 650% profit. Not even real estate is 600. Selling a product. Billionaires are rich because they sell a product. Apple is rich because they sell a product. Facebook is rich because they sell a service or a product. That is how you build wealth. Create something, Black people. We got to stop being consumers and we got to create something to sell. That is how you make the 650% profit product. The stock market on average gives you 10%. On a great year, I've had great years, I've gotten as high as 30-40% increase. And I was excited off of the 30-40% increase. I just told you I make 650% increase when I sell my book. When I personally sell my book, I don't make as much when Amazon sells it. But I make something. Every month I get a royalty check. Shout out to Amazon. I'm not working. I don't work. It comes passively. What's your product, guys? What's your product? Okay, so the top 5 keys, top 5 keys to selling. So, I digress because I'm so excited. I mean, let's build something. Let's build a product to sell. First off, before we even talk about sales, We got to have products to sell. We got to stop selling other people's stuff. And we got to make our own stuff to sell. Foundational. Okay. Once you make your own stuff to sell, let's talk about sell. So I was telling you, I learned to sell in high school. When I was a kid, my mom was a single mother, and there was a lot of things I wanted to do. I wanted to have. I wanted to have my own TV. I wanted to have my own, video games at the time. It was Nintendo was popular. I wanted to go on field trips. I wanted, my high school class went to California. It went to this, it went to that. It went ski trips in Colorado. And I was really concerned that my mother wouldn't be able to afford to send me, and I didn't want to put that kind of pressure on her. So what I started to do is I started to sell. I used to save the allowance that she gave me. I saved the allowance that she gave me, and I would sell. I didn't beg people for money. I sold stuff. So shout out to Mr. Smith, Matthew Smith, a high school teacher. I learned to sell candy. Like he would have M&Ms on wholesale, things like that. And I would get wholesale stuff. Right? Get something for 10 cents and sell it for $1. That's 90% profit, y'all. 90% profit. You understand? And actually that's not 90% profit, right? It's like anyway, we get the point. If you only use 10 cents but then you get 90, it's anyway, you get my point. It's not 90 out of a dollar. It's 9 times what you invested. So a 900% profit. Right? Let's do the math. Let's do the math first. Right? So 90 minus 10 divided by 10 equals times 100% equals 800% profit. It's not about 90 out of 10 profit. That's the misconception. It's whatever I put in, how many times did that grow? It grew 8 more times, 800% profit. Nothing compares to that. Like if I invest in the stock market, I invest in the initial, and then it grows this much. What does it grow to? It grows it doubles the amount that you invested 8 times, 8 more times. And I was like, wow. So I was able, because of my selling of just candy, I would go on the train station and I would just, instead of sitting in the train, I'm from New York City. And I went to high school in Harlem, uptown Manhattan, and I lived in Queens. So I would be on the train for an hour and a half. Most people just sit on the train for an hour and a half. But there are 10 cars in the train. I would just walk the cars of the train back and forth. Got my exercise in, and I walked the cars of the train, and I sold M&Ms. I sold M&Ms and candy. And I was making dollars. It cost hundreds of dollars to go to California. It's cost hundreds of dollars, and I was able to sell candy, save up my money, and I paid for my trip to go to California. I paid for my TV. I paid for my stereo. I paid for my bicycle. Yep. From a young age, I learned how to sell. We got to stop teaching these kids to beg. That's what we do when we want these for fundraising. We put these kids on the street with hats and begging cars for money. You better tell those kids how to sell. Get them some wholesale candy. Invest and teach them how to make a profit from young age. Stop teaching these kids how to beg. Teach these kids how to make a profit. That's what Matthew Smith taught me. He taught me how to make a profit. He didn't tell me how to beg. Right? And then in college, I sold books. I knocked on doors, door to door. I went into businesses, cold turkey and sold hundreds of dollars a day. I would sell books. I'm like, I'm looking back at my life. I said, Maya, you are a seller. What you doing wasting time here? Why did it take a year to sell 100 books? Terrible. Shame on you. We got to change that. And it was more than 100 books because I did sell books on Amazon. I'm talking about me cold selling my hardcore books. I make more money when I sell my books than when Amazon sells my books. So I had a come to Jesus moment when I saw that I was making a $650% profit. It was more like 500 and something percent because I had to pay a little bit for shipping I had to pay to ship the books to me. Not that much. So it was probably like $2.50 per book, a $3 a book or something like that. And I sold it for $15. So you get my point. I want you to get my point. My point is there's nothing like selling the profits. So what are the 5 keys to success? I said all that to 5 keys to success. Number 1, after you create your product, you got to build a rapport with people. Before you can preach to anybody anything, you got to connect with them. You got to care about them. So who's the rapport? The rapport for me are people who want to be either STEM majors, people whose kids want to be STEM majors, or parents that are just really, really concerned about their children in general. That's my client. That's my client, right? I know who my demographic is. Parents that want their kids to be successful, parents that know their kids wants to be in STEM, kids who know what they want to be in STEM, adults who know they want to be in STEM. That's my and then villages, institutions that want their community to be successful in STEM. So my last conversation was I got flued out. Shout out shout out to Tamarind Avenue, Seventh-day Adventist Church. I got flued out, meaning somebody from California paid a plane ticket and a hotel fee to fly me out from Orlando all the way across the country to California to speak to their village. That's also my demographic. Villages, institutions who want their village, their institution to have success in STEM. I know my demographic. So I got flown out and I spoke. And after I spoke and built a rapport with the people there, the parents there, the children there, I sold my books out I sold the books. I sold the books. Yeah. Build a rapport. Do you know who your people are? Do you know who your clientele are? Number 1. Find out who they are and build a rapport with them. Gain their trust. Some people try to manipulate them. Don't manipulate people. Don't manipulate people emotionally, but tap into their emotions. And nothing more important to a woman than her child. Tap into that. There's nothing more important than I was talking to people on Saturday, and one of them was saying they're raising a teenagers. They're raising a teenager. And I was talking about what's going on in the teenage brain and the preteen brain and emotions and the hormones and all that good stuff. So it literally tapped into what she was going through. She was like, oh my gosh, my daughter is all over the place right now. I totally get what you're saying. I tapped into what she was going through with her own child. And what happened? She purchased my book. You got to build a rapport. Build a rapport with your customer. Tap into what they're going through. Help them understand that your product can help them solve their problem. Number 1. Number 2, you got to believe in your product. When I sold books as a college teenager, I believed in that product. And when I didn't believe in the product, I didn't sell well. But when I knew that the product would really help the person, the better I was able to sell the book to the person. Believe believe in you? What is the product that you made? What is the product that you're selling? Do you have a strong belief that this product can powerfully impact someone? If you have a strong belief that this product can help impact someone, I mean, the worst types of products have a powerful impact on someone. And that's how you sell it. Some people sell really bad things to people, but they know it will have a powerful impact on them, and so they really sell it hard. Do you believe your product can have a powerful impact? Number 3, uh demonstrate the value of the product. This is where I have to do a lot of more speaking engagements. The problem is why I'm not selling my books every day, $10 books a day, is cuz I'm busy. I'm busy. I have other things going on. So I can't sell my books 10. But what I'm saying is I have to at least book a gig once a month and sell more than 10 books. I gotta book a gig once a month and sell 30 books or 300 books in that day, that week, that gig, that once a month. That 300 books is the 10 books a day. You understand? And even if I don't do 300 books, just 100 books, you know, try to make a good amount of money in that gig. It's possible. It's so possible. Number 4. So after you build a rapport with a customer, you believe in your own product, you demonstrate how this can really powerfully impact your your client, you show its value. As I said before, I show its value when I do my presentations, right? Then here's the key thing about selling: you got to embrace objections. So this is where I learned this a lot as selling books door to door. I sold books door to door. I sold religious books door to door. So I got a lot of objections. But I learned to start off easy with less threatening things. What I did was I learned how to be friendly in the beginning, ask them things that they like. And then once I knew, I look for things around. Like, if I would see kid bicycles around, that means I know there's a child in the home. So I would always start off with children's books first. I had to really look around to see, and I had to tap into what's going on with the person. And then when they start to say no, I ask questions. So I ask, what are you interested in? Right? Make light of their rejection. Don't accept no for an answer until they slam the door in your face. Embrace objections. Accept no and don't get dejected by the no. That's another thing. Embrace objections. I learned this thing. For every 3 no's, there's a yes. For every 3. So if I would knock on one door and another door and I would get no, 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 then I would just automatically know a yes is coming. I would be positive with the objections. I would love the objections because I would love the rejection, the no's, because I would rush to the next sale. I wouldn't waste time on the people who rejected me. Think of ways to take in the objections and find ideas as to sell someone the next time. All right? So it says it's better to get all the possible objections early and address them properly than encounter them later. Listen to all kinds of negative things that people would have as to why they can't purchase your product, and always have an answer for it. And lastly, number 5, as I close, Learn from the best. You are never too good to learn and improve in a salesman. Michael, what's his name? At Black Orlando Tech this week, I think Mike Davis is Mike Felix. Michael Felix is going to be talking about how he was successful in sales, in tech sales, on July 20th. I'm going to be there. Even though he's talking about sales, technology sales, I'm going to take what he has to say in the context of sales in general. He sold several ebooks. So I'm going to learn about how to sell better, because I'm looking at this profit and I'm like, man, if I did this profit exponentially, it would be great. It would be awesome. There's nothing that beats selling a product. I guess my point is that today. My admonition to you guys is, number one, create a product. Create a product. Create something to sell. Stop consuming. It's time for us as a people to be more creators than consumers. Number one. Number two, we got to sell the product. How do we do that? Build a rapport with people. Believe in the product that you're selling. Demonstrate the value to the clientele. Embrace their objections and always have an answer for at least one of them. And then learn how to sell from people who are better than you at selling. And let's make that cheese. Let's make that cheese. Oh my gosh, it's time. See you guys. Have a good night.